You are not prepared.
This is WoW Crusade. I'm Chris.
And I'm Brandon.
You are not prepared!
Welcome back. This is WoW Crusade, and we're going to talk about the Underbog and Steamvault that's located in Coalfang Reservoir in Zangarmarsh. Now, the Underbog is a 63 to 65 5-man dungeon. Takes about 1.5 to 2.5 hours, is what they said approximate runtime is. And then the Steamvault is a level 70 level range, 5-man, that takes about 2 hours to run.
No. They don't.
Well, they said approximate, so, some people might take quicker. Depends on your group. And if you got some people who don't know what they're doing, probably takes about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever been in one.
I don't think so either. So, first one, Underbog, is the second 5-man wing within the Coalfang Reservoir. It is found on the east side. Now, it is home to the last vestiges of natural life left within Coalfang Reservoir that has not been completely stamped out by the Naga incursion. The only Naga present in this section defends the structure they built to house their Hydra god, Gazan. The rest of the Underbog is a natural habitat home to the most powerful species of animal life in Zangarmarsh. It will give Cenarian Expedition reputation through friendly and through exalted on heroic. A heroic clear will net approximately 2,600 rep.
Sure. I don't know. Heroic, maybe 2,600 rep.
Yeah, it says a heroic clear, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think a regular clear. Can't remember quite. I can't remember quite what it is for a regular clear.
I don't remember either.
I want to say for a regular clear, it's about 1,043.
Oh, that's not an exact number or nothing. It sounds too exact, Oh, just about 1,043.
Going off of my head, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. So you want to tell
But
them?
I think you could still get rep without it being on heroic.
Well,
So, let's see. Okay.
well, it says through friendly on regular and then exalted on heroic. So I don't know if it stops at friendly. I
don't think so. I really believe that you can get it all the way through. I'll have to do more research. I've got a guide coming out.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So the first boss you come across is Hungerfin is a large fungal giant and one of the leaders of them. He can be found as the first boss of the Underbog in Coalfang Reservoir. He has been tending a very special plant known as the Underspore to perfection for millennia. He has a couple of attacks. He does the Underbog Mushrooms. Now this dude is on a I call it a pedestal, but as you're running up to him, I think it's a big mushroom that he's on top of. Is what it is. It's him and then a couple of guys in front of him.
Yeah.
You can pull the guys in front of him before you pull him, but once you pull him, he has a couple of things. He has the Underbog Mushroom. These are very important because it spawns at random locations on the platform and immediately begins to grow inside.
And it sucks.
Yeah. After a few seconds, I want to say it's 5 seconds, they explode and release a spore cloud that lasts for 20 seconds. The cloud inflicts 360 nature damage every 2 seconds, and it can stack up to 5 times.
Oh.
So you do 5 times 360, and you'll see what it is.
Yeah.
looking at it probably roughly 1700 damage a tick if you have 5 stacks. And I don't care who you are, 4 or 5 ticks of that, and you're going to be low on it. Foul Spore. He also does Foul Spore. At 20% health, he roots himself and projects an AoE poison cloud, which hits for 400 to 600 damage every second. Hungerfin is then healed for 4 times the physical damage done. Spells still damage in the usual manner. It's got a 15-yard radius. These can be dispelled with Tranquilizer. Now, when he does that at 20% health, if you're a melee, you just stop attacking him and leave, run away for a little bit. It doesn't wipe aggro. But on a side note, opening the Underspore frond will not aggro Hungerfin, though when you finish opening it, he will. This means that stealth running to it is possible. So the strategy of this fight. All party members must keep an eye out for Underbog Mushrooms and move away from them. That includes the tank. So you're going to have to watch your tank. The tank's going to have to move around. For the first 80%, it's just a basic tank and spank with moving them around to stay away from the fort. Because they'll just keep spawning. And you don't want anybody to get hit by them. They go away, but you can see where they're spawning at. Get away from them. Not that. The only people that have problem are melee, but the tanks just gotta move. When he hits 20%, he'll begin using his Foul Spores. All party members, including the tank, should move away from Hungerfin so no one takes damage from the AoE and he doesn't heal himself. Because he heals himself based on the damage he does to nearby party members. So just back off away from him.
Yeah.
Burn him down as fast as possible at roughly 10%, or after a certain time he releases Foul Spores. Usually runs right back to the tank and just continue to avoid the mushrooms that he's going to, the Underbog Mushrooms, till he's dead. Now, like I said before, there are 2 Bog Giants, but they're not linked to Hungerfin. One giant will aggro, the other when pulled. So you'll have 2 of them at the beginning of the platform where he's at, and you can pull those without pulling the boss himself. They do need to be, I mean, you can double tank them, but they hit hard. I mean, I've never had an off tank go up there and do it. We've just always tanked together. And you can see, you can treat them if you've done UBRS. You can treat them the same as Dracosath, where you just have a Hunter or Frost Mage kite one Bog Giant while everybody else jumps on the other one. And I don't think that's necessary. I think you just kill them both. You'll be fine. I mean, there's some people, there's some groups that have killed one, and they've died, and then come back to kill the other one, but you don't want to. But it's, I mean, they actually are harder than the boss to me, because they hit pretty hard.
If I remember, because the boss, all you gotta do is move around.
Yeah.
And yeah. I think I had died as a tank a couple times, but we already had those 2 downs so far.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They finished killing it, and then they just res me.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So when you kill him, he some of the loot he drops here. He has a male waist piece, 236 armor, 18 agility, 18 stamina. Increases attack power by 30 when equipped, and all of these things that he drops are going to be required level 63 to use. He also drops some hands, some gloves, 4 cloth, 81 armor, 10 spirit, 14 intellect, 14 stamina, with a red and yellow socket, and it doesn't do anything. You don't get any kind of bonus if you socket them correctly. But when you equip, it increases your hit rating by 15 and increases spell power by 6. Needle Strike. It is a thrown weapon. And you guys, just so you know, I think in BC, thrown weapons and bows and all that no longer you no longer have to have ammo. Is that right in BC?
So it looks like, because I don't think you'll get this one thrown weapon and use it.
Yeah,
and
think you don't have to. I think that's what it changed. That's why I wanted to mention
I think bows you still got to have ammo, but the throne
maybe.
you don't.
But the needle strike is a thrown weapon. It does 51.1 damage per second. Equipping it increases your hit rating by 11 and increases attack power by 24. Starlight gauntlets. They are leather hands, 153 armor, 8 spirit, 21 intellect, 10 stamina, 2 blue sockets, and it increases spell power by 25 when and then Totem of the Thunderhead. It is a relic, totem, shaman.
Yep.
Equip increases mana gains from water shield by 27 per charge.
Yep.
And then he has, of course, heroic drops, but we don't.
All right, then you're on the top of the platform. You keep on going, and you'll eventually run to Gazan. And he looks like a three-headed dragon.
He is a Hydra.
Hydra, thank you. He's got 3 attacks and abilities. Acid Spit, which does 180 frontal 2k nature damage attack. Acid Breath, which is 155 nature damage over 3 seconds, stacks on main tank, stacks up to 10 times. And then a Tail Whip, so don't stay behind him because he'll do 500 damage behind you. So the strategy is the box walks onto the center platform when you enter his chamber. There is a wall of vertical pipes to the right, and many tanks place their backs against this. The important thing is that the tank doesn't move the entire fight so that the rest of the group can stand to Gazan's sides. If you are in front of him, you'll be hit by his nature breath attack, and behind he will tail swipe you off the platform. So that would totally suck. If you get swiped off, you can swim to the ramp and run back up, but you'll be out of the fight for approximately 45 to 60 seconds, and that can make or break the group. Other than the nature breath attack and tail swipe, Gazan has no special abilities and is easily dispatched if everyone is positioned properly. An easy way to think of this is setting it up similar to Onyxia.
What they're talking about is where you go up to the pipes, right there where the pipes start at. Pull him and pull him all the way back down that ramp, all the way to the wall. It's the best place to take him.
Now, another maybe easier way is to have ranged DPS looking at the ramp from the side, and the tank can then go to Gazan and pull him all the way down the ramp that's leading to him, so the tank can have his back up against the wall. Gazan's back will point towards the center of the room where he started. That way the DPS can stand on the side, DPSing him down without thinking about tail swipes and falling off the edge. It's very, very effective way to do that.
That's what I was. That's the way I was just saying.
Yeah. Gazan's Acid Breath is the main problem in this fight. It is a binary resist, meaning you can fully resist it or you can do full damage. And it stacks up 10 times on players. Each application of the Acid Breath deals 155 damage every 3 seconds and refreshes the duration of the debuff. So a tank with 10 applications will be taking 1550 damage every 3 seconds in addition to the 1500 to 2000 instant damage each time Acid Breath hits. For this reason, nature resist for the main tank can make this fight a cinch, and lack of nature resist can make it very difficult. If you have a shaman group, they should place their nature resistant totems, and hunters can use Aspect of the Wild. Now, no one other than the main tank should be hit by Acid Breath, because the healer's gonna be trying to keep the main tank alive. They shouldn't be worried about you too. If you're hit by it, you are too far in front of Gazan and should move closer to the rear of him, just not into the tail swipe range. Assuming proper position, the fight is a take and spank with no surprises. So, yeah, just keep in mind, don't be in front, don't be behind him, and you should have no problems whatsoever.
He's a dragon. He's a Hydra.
Yeah.
But use dragon positioning.
Yeah.
Don't get close. Don't get further than his front shoulder
I
in
don't.
front of him.
I don't remember having any problems with that guy, except for the first time I think I went in there and I had my mage, and I was stupid. I went behind him. He knocked me down, and I didn't know how to get back up there. So it took me longer than 45 to 60 seconds to get back up there, and it pissed the group off. Yeah.
I did it not too long ago with a time walking thing. No, when I was leveling in retail, I leveled in BC just to do these dungeons.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right, now the loot. Got the Cloak of Healing Rays is a back piece with 12 stam, 13 intellect, 15 spirit, and all these are level 63 to equip. And if you equip it, it increases spell power by 18. Hatebringer, two-handed mace, 25 strength, 21 stamina. It's got a red, a yellow, and a blue socket. It does have a socket bonus of +4 to strength. If you equip it, it improves critical strike rating by 22. And it looks mean.
Yeah.
And then Luminous Pearls of Insight, it's a neck piece with +15 to intellect. If you equip it, it improves critical strike rating by 11. And it also increases spell power by 25. Studded Girdle of Virtue is a plate waist piece. +14 intellect, +14 to strength, and +18 to stamina. It's got a red socket and a yellow socket. And the socket bonus is +4 to critical strike rating. And if you equip it, it restores 4 mana per 5 seconds. And then the last piece that could drop is a Talisman of Tenacity. It's a neck piece, +30 to stamina. And if you equip it, it improves your resilience rating by 20.
Some decent eye of gear from him anyway.
Yeah.
Now, see, after you kill him, if I remember correctly, you'll kill him, they drop down off his platform. You drop down into some water, swim to this little hole in the wall, and then you jump down the little hole in the wall, and then you got to do fighting. There's a druid that's going to be up there that you got to talk to, quest, and you do some fighting, then you do some more fighting, and then you do some more fighting. And then you get the Swamp Lord Muselek. Swamp Lord Muselek is a broken hunter, ruler of the Mark Blood, and the third boss of the Underbog in Quillfang Reservoir. He is accompanied by his pet Claw, who is part of the quest Lost in Action, which can be obtained from Watcher Yang in front of the entrance to the dungeon. However, his location in the dungeon brings into question why he is here surrounded by beasts instead of with his fellow merc. This may suggest that he is in exile and is hiding in the untamed parts of the Underbog. Now, Swamp Lord Muselek, he has a few different abilities. He has aim shot. It's the exact same aim shot that anybody else uses, and it can hit for over 2,000 damage on cloth wearing classes.
Yeah.
So, he does that when nobody is in melee range. So, tank has to stay in range of him at all times, or he's going to start aim shotting your cloth wearers, and it's not good. Auto shot, he just auto shoots, and they hit way less than aim shot. He has an AoE freeze trap, and it'll freeze the whole party for a few seconds and take distance. That's resistible, and after reaching a certain distance, he'll use his aim shot ability. But, of course, that it can be broken by damage. So, the aim shot, he's going to do the freeze trap, and somebody's going to get shot, but it's not going to one-shot you. So, multi-shot, it hits multiple players and can cause around 2,000 damage to cloth wearers. And then you have Claw, which he has Claw's Shout, which reduces the whole party member's armor by 75%. That can be avoided by having him tanked away from the rest of the group, and then Claw's Charge will make Claw charge at random person. This effect is just like Feral Charge, and he'll charge multiple times if it's on heroic mode. It also knocks you back a short distance on non-heroic and regular. So, or heroic and non-heroic. Uh, Strategies for it: clear the Underbog Lord that patrols near Muselec before engaging the boss, because he can crit in excess of 9.5k on male armor. Yeah, and he can aggro. He
Oh.
will he will aggro when you attack the boss, and you will wipe. Um, this fight is similar to Ilyana Ravenoak in Diremo and can be completed with a single tank. The tank first attacks Claw for a few seconds to build up threat before switching to Muselec. Once the tank has built up enough threat, the rest of the party can attack and down him quite quickly. Muselec will occasionally freeze the whole group, and take some distance so he can shoot. It is important for the tank to get back into the hunter's melee range immediately. Once the hunter is dead, the group can focus on Claw, who will turn friendly at 20% health and expose himself as Windcaller Claw. Alternatively, the bear can be burned at 20% first, removing it from the fight, and then the boss engage. The primary concern appears to be healing and interruption and proper double tank. There's so many strategies for this guy. They say the kiting strategy is obsolete because Claw runs back, so the strategy doesn't appear to be valid any longer. I don't know. Now, that may be after they changed it. I know personally that when we did this back in the day, when it first came out, that you could run Claw away from everybody and just have a hunter tank him or kite him while everybody else killed the boss. I know it worked. So I think this kiting thing was after it didn't work anymore. That was after probably after some of the new stuff came out. Like I don't know necessarily the Shadowlands, but it was one of them because I know it worked. But you can have a multiple tank strategy where you can use an off tank to tank the bear and just kind of take him around the corner, so you won't be affected by the armor reducing ability. But mainly, just have your tank pick up both of them, kill Muselec, and then kill the bear. It's pretty easy. It's mainly just it's a tank and spank kind of fight. I mean, he does have some abilities, but he's a hunter, so he's not that hard. And then just everybody stay in the melee range. If you can all stay in melee range, then you don't have to worry about him ever shooting anybody in the face. All right. And I don't know. So I guess apparently there was it was confirmed in normal instance that Claw can be put to sleep with a Druid's Hibernate spell. So there's another option.
Oh.
Just make the bear go to sleep. After killing him, you got loot here. All of these items are 63 to equip. Have a back piece, 64 armor, 12 agility, 13 stamina. Improves your dodge rating by 23. You have a pair of plate legs, 841 armor, 32 strength, 33 stamina. 2 yellow and 1 blue socket. If you socket it correctly, you get 4 hit rating. And equipping it improves hit rating by 7. Truth Bearer's Shoulder Guard. Those are plate shoulder. Oh, the last things were called Greaves of the Iron Guardian, and then before that was Cloak of Enduring Swift. The Truth Bearer Shoulder Guards are shoulder plate item, 721 armor, 22 intellect, 17 strength, 21 stamina, 2 red sockets. You don't get any bonus if you put them on. Tunic of the Night Watcher is a leather chest piece, 244 armor, 18 spirit, 21 intellect, 27 stamina, 1 red, 1 yellow, 1 blue socket, and equipping them increases spell power by 26. And then he drops a dagger, Zangar Tooth Short Blade, 41.4 damage per second, 14 intellect, 13 stam. Equipping it improves hit rating by 12 and increases spell power by 61.
And it looks like a hooked tooth. That's what it looks like.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Alright, then you can go to the final boss, which is called the Black Stalker. This looks like one of the water stalkers that walk down the rivers and stuff in Zangarmarsh. That's what he kind of looks like to me anyways. Now,
That's what it is.
he's called Die Schattenmutter in the German client, which translates to the Shadow Mother. Therefore, this specific spore walker is assumed to be female. Now, also the quest of Stalk the Stalker refers to her as the Great Mother of the Marsh Walkers. I did not know that. Did you know that?
I knew she was a female, but I didn't know nothing about dying Heimer or whatever.
Now, she has 4 attacks and abilities. Static Charge, which does 750 nature damage per second for 10 seconds, is not dispellable. This effect is similar to the treacherous aura placed on players by the Omar in Ramparts. As long as the party spreads out, you can minimize the damage that this debuff causes to the party as a whole, and the healer can usually heal the debuffed player and the tank through it. Vanity non-combat pets should be dismissed before the fight, as she can place a static charge on them as well. Chain Lightning. This ability takes her 3 seconds to cast and hits the target for 2,000 and then spreads to nearby players, with the damage falling by approximately half each time. Levitate. This effect brings a player in the air, and when it wears off, a debuff will come on, suspension, which lasts 20 seconds. However, it is dispellable. Players with range attacks can still attack the boss in midair. Healers can be, but usually aren't, lifted high enough that the tank is out of range of heals. So that would be bad.
Oh, yeah, you can still heal.
Now, I know we don't talk about heroic, but I'm just going to mention this. Spore Strider adds heroic only. Throughout the fight, the Black Stalker will spawn sets of 3, 5,000 hit points. Adds every 10 to 15 seconds that will cast 1,000 nature damage lightning bolts at targets. And these adds are immune to fear. Now, the strategy, like most other bosses in the Underbog, the Black Stalker does not have a lot of health, but hits hard. A good balanced group is advised, especially at lower levels. The Chain Lightning effect is similar to that of Phenoxys in ZG, so try not to spread out to minimize this effect. The tank should take her to the center room with the rest of the party at max range. Turn her either to the left or right, so melee can stand behind her to avoid the Chain Lightning and be still in heal range. The healers just should remember that the Black Stalker hits hard, so keep the tank near full health. As mentioned above, the Chain Lightning effect can end up hitting the tank multiple times. This, on top of the static charge effect, can drop anywhere from a quarter to half of your tank's health, so try to stay at max healing range. You will also be trying to balance your time between healing and dispelling the levitate. It helps to have either a backup healer or a backup cleanser, Priest Pally, to worry about dispelling the levitate. And the melee, position yourself on the opposite side of the tank. You can avoid being hit by the Chain Lightning. Most important is keep an eye on the enemy cast bar. Chain Lightning has a long casting time, approximately 3 seconds. There is time to run out of range during the Chain Lightning cast, even if you're a bit laggy. So if you see it and you're standing close to somebody, run out.
And I'll just go ahead and tell you, man, don't even worry about dispelling levitate. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I keep seeing that, but I don't remember ever dispelling it.
I never once got dispelled from that thing as a healer, because you can heal.
Now, just some levitate information. Priest, paladins, or a warlock spellhunter can dispel this effect. Mages can blink to escape. Whilst traveling, only instant spells can be cast, of course. When fully levitated, all spells can be cast. Healers will sometimes be out of range to heal some party members when fully levitated. Ranged attackers will sometimes be out of range to hit the Black Stalker when fully levitated. Standing under one of the small mushrooms near the walls can completely prevent the levitation effect.
Yep.
I do remember that. I forgot about that.
As a gnome, it's really fun because you can stand under any.
Exactly. It is usually the second person on threat list that gets levitated. Some groups have tried a tactic where there is a second tank gaining threat to prevent healers and vulnerable cloth wearers from being affected. Priests can try to use their levitate spell and try to stay second on the threat list. The levitate spell will keep them from taking fall damage and will only have to worry about dispelling the effect on themselves. Now, a suggested way to keep the healer from being levitated is to stand slightly around the corner out of sight from the Black Stalker, but still in line of sight of the party in order to heal. After being dispelled, cleansed, it is possible to be levitated again even before you hit the ground. This can happen 3 or 4 times in a row. If the healer is levitated, it may be better to adjust everyone else within 40 yards of him or her rather than dispelling it. Levitate by itself does no damage, and once the healer is levitated, they are relatively safe from chain lightning, static charge, and melee attacks, while no other party members can be levitated till the effect ends. When the effect ends, priests can levitate, mages can slow fall, and druids can shift into cat form to avoid heavy fall damage. As a feral druid, you can trigger feral charge as you start levitating, and it will bring you back to the boss and keep your aggro.
Yeah, like if you were to start to get levitated as a feral druid, like if you're just a DPS and you're second on threat, I remember doing this quite a bit. You can just go into your bear form and you have charge, and you can charge back to him, and it'll cancel the levitation effect.
That's pretty cool. And then there's ads in heroic mode, but I'm not really going to go into that. Now, this boss may be reset by running out of a room. While not
maybe reset. Sometimes there's a damn glitch and it gets reset.
Yeah. So while not in combat, she moves around the room, so be careful when trying to resurrect fallen comrades. If you do pull her while resurrecting, you can always run out to reset her and try again. It is also possible for the boss to reset in the middle of a fight unintentionally, restoring the boss to full health and dropping the threat list. This usually happens when all DPS is ranged and stands near the entrance to the room, and the tank gets levitated out of range. If this happens, it is best to have the whole group run out of range, rebuff, and get mana to full before trying again. And it will reset. So, the loot.
It sounds like a lot of stuff, but the bosses.
Yeah. I don't remember the boss being that hard. It sounds hard, but I don't remember that boss being that hard. But
no, they hype all the bosses up a little bit.
Now all the loot is level 63 to equip. Still, the first one is plate shoulder. Is Pauldrons of Brute Force. 16 strength, 22 stamina. It's got a yellow and a blue socket. If you socket them both properly, plus 3 dodge rating. And if you equip it, it increases defense rating by 18. And I think my paladin had this. Yeah. Robes of the Augur, cloth chest piece. 11 spirit, 18 intellect, 18 stamina. It's got a red, yellow, and a blue socket. No socket bonus. If you equip it, increase spell power by 28. Metal chest piece called Shamblehide Chest Guard. It's got a yellow, a blue, and a red socket. If you socket it correctly, it gives a bonus of plus 4 to agility. If you equip it, it increases attack power by 44. And it improves critical strike rating by 21. Skull Dunker's Leggings. It's a leather leg piece. It gives plus 24 stamina. It's got 2 red sockets and a blue socket. And the socket bonus is plus 4 dodge rating. So those are good druid tanks.
Yep. Yeah, all the way.
Yep. Increases your dodge rating by 21 if you equip it. And also improves hit rating by 16 and attack power by 40. The Stalker's Fangs is a one-handed dagger. It's 56.7 damage per second. Gives 16 stamina. If you equip it, increase critical strike rating by 15, and then increase attack power by 20. And then also drops a quest item if you have the quest. So there you go.
The brain.
That is the Underbog.
It's overall, I mean, it's a fun. To me, this is a fun dungeon. It's pretty quick. It goes by pretty fast. Lots of mechanics. So don't get discouraged if you can't get through it right away on the very first try. Just go back and try it again. It's not I think to me the hardest boss in the entire instance is Swamp Lord Mucilex, and that's just because of the pet, the bear, and because that bear hits hard. So as long as you can get past him, I think you shouldn't have a problem with any of the trash, or any of the other bosses or anything. Trash is all pretty simple. There are some. I will tell you that there are some big pulls while you're in there. They have like these Lycal wasps and Lycal stingers and stuff like that are big wasp-looking things. So there you can't be sheep. So I mean, you can use Frost Nova and stuff like that on them, but there's big pulls of those. So just be careful of those. But other than that, it's not. Oh, one thing I do want to let everybody know. I do remember this, and they are little crap, but the fin rays, they look like floating stingrays. They will cast horror on a target for 2 seconds, which makes you run away for 2 seconds. So make sure where you're at, you're not to where you can run to another group, because if you are, you'll just go ahead and aggro them. So watch the fin ray. But other than that, it's a fun instance, and I think everybody will have fun.
All right, now we're going to talk about Steamvault. And it's a level 70 wing of the Coalfrey Reservoir, so you have to be level 70 to get in there. It's to the left from where you enter the Coalfrey Reservoir, but not the leftmost. It's about the 11 o'clock position. No key is required to enter here, but you must defeat the first and second bosses and operate the control panels behind them in order to enter the room with the final boss. All mobs give reputation to Cenarian Expedition through Exalted rep.
Trash gives you, it just tells you the trash gives you like 12 rep.
Yeah. And 2 for non-elite. Bosses give 120. So full clear, 1,662 rep, 1,782 if you take the time to kill all the slaves as well.
You want to kill the slaves. That's part of my thing that I'm going to put out. Or that we're going to put out the. You want to kill the slaves before you kill the slave masters, because even though they're yellow, they do give quite a bit. That's quite a bit of rep that you're going to.
Now, if you take the fastest path through the instance nets, is about 1,100 reps, but if you need the rep, I would suggest just take your time, kill everything.
Yeah, because if you don't do it, then you're going to have to run this place like 12 times to get exalted, rather than, or revered.
So a full clear, 1662. If you do the fastest path, 1,100. That's 500. That's 562 rep that you're missing out on. You're going to have to run it another half a time just to get what you would if you did a full clear.
Yeah.
Now in heroic mode, the fastest path gives roughly 1550 rep, and a full clear will give 2559 rep.
But you can't do heroic until you have the rep to get the heroic.
Oh yeah. This is a challenging instance with an unusually large number of mobs and a couple of reasonably difficult boss encounters. Trash pools are made up of 2, 3, or 4 elite Naga humanoids of 5 water elementals, or of a single elite bog giant. Now, is this the one where they actually did the one of the holiday bosses later?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I couldn't remember exactly. I remember running this one several times. Several times.
Yep.
With you and May and all of them.
Yeah, because I mean, these. The only thing that sucks about this whole entire thing, or like they say, like people. I mean, you'll hear people talking about it after they go in there. The oracles and sirens. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, those are the most dangerous things in the entire instance. And besides bosses.
Yeah, because their fear can block your healer for 10 seconds, and they can make you pull extra groups.
Yep.
On their fear.
I
So
mean,
you just got to be careful.
Those are the ones we either we always crowd control them, or B, those were the very first things.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of like the stupid manta rays in the instance before. They will fear you, and it's not.
Yeah. Oh, and the snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can actually do it with mind control. If you mind control one of the guys, the other mobs will kill it, and then they'll all come at the person who mind controlled. So it's fun to watch fun to watch a priest die. But.
Yeah.
I guess we can go ahead. Let's see here. Talk about the first boss, which is Hydromancer Thespia. It's the first boss of Steamvault. She has some abilities. I say she. Lightning Cloud. It's an instant cast AoE dot. Causes 1,600 to 2,000 damage. I want to say nature damage. When it appears, and it adds 1,500 to 2,500 nature damage per second in a 10-yard radius. So just move out of it. It's fire. Except it's lightning. Don't stand it. Get GTFO, the add-on, so you'll get out of stuff. And that's pretty much her.
You should have that add-on anyways. So
yeah, and that's pretty much her only ability is Lightning Cloud. Heroic, she does a couple other things, but we're not talking about Heroic. If you guys want to hear about Heroic, leave us a review, and we'll go back and do Heroic strategies for each one of these bosses. So
yeah,
that's up to you guys. Now, Hydromancer Thespia is accompanied by 2 water elemental lads, full fang water elementals, each with around 16,000 hit points. The elementals can be banished. They have a volley spell that deals approximately 900 frost damage. The ads should be killed before DPS even begins on Thespia. They can be brought outside of the room where Thespia resides to avoid her attack. They'll despawn once she dies, but you can kill them. They're easy. They die really fast. 16,000 hit points is not a lot of hit points.
Yeah.
Especially with the damage you'll be doing. Thespia will occasionally cast the Lightning Cloud, which deals a large amount of nature damage per second when underneath the cloud. Typically, if you're under the cloud for more than 2 or 3 seconds, you'll die. If you're running with me and I'm your healer, I don't care. Stand underneath it. I'm going to heal you. Because I can heal through it. I know I can. Run from the cloud to avoid taking damage. The cloud will not always be cast on the tank, regardless of aggro. So healer and ranged DPS must be ready to move if the cloud is cast above them. She tends to cast the cloud on groups of people, so keep everyone spread out. And that's the best thing. Keep spread out. If you have a lot of melee, expect the tank to have to kite her around the room. Nature resistance gear and potions can help mitigate any mistakes, but by the large, you should just seek to avoid getting hit at all by any spell. Thespia's other ability puts the debuff Enveloping Winds on the player. Forgot about that. This prevents the player from being able to move, which can especially be deadly if you're caught underneath the lightning cloud.
Yeah.
Just side note, as a bear tank, this only happened once to I guess to this person that's helping with the guide here. As they said, I've only had this happen to me once at the time it took me to get exalted with Cenarian Exposition. And they said they wiped. So if your tank or healer goes down and you want to save a total wipe, you can drop down the small ledge to the right of the top of the ramp leading to her room and run around down out of line of sight. She'll stand there a little bit and then she'll reset, saving you a walk back. So, I've never really, I don't think I've ever wiped on her. She's not too bad. Let's see here. And after you kill her, she has all of her drops are the same, normal or heroic. Just the heroics are a little bit better. But all these items are level 68 to use. Well, 68 to use with the exception of one item. I want to say that's a heroic drop. But the first piece is a chest guard of no remorse. It's a leather chest piece, 285 armor, 35 stamina, increases attack power by 92, improves critical strike rating by 21. Cloak of Whispering Shell. It is a back piece, 76 armor, 15 stam, 16 intellect. Restores 4 mana per 5 seconds and increases spell power by 21 when equipped. These Incanter's Gloves, I want to say these are the ones that are on heroic only. I'm not totally sure, but I'll tell you guys about them. They're level 70 to use, 97 armor, 21 stamina, 24 intellect, 12 spirit. Equipping him increases critical strike rating by 14, increases spell power by 29. Moonrage Girdle, waist leather piece. It's 22 intellect, 21 spirit. Improves your critical strike rating by 20 and increases spell power by 25 when equipped. Also can drop a ring, which is the Scintillating Coral Band. Scintillating? I'm sorry, I'm retarded and don't know how to read. It's got 14 stamina, 15 intellect, improves your critical strike rating by 17, and increases spell power by 21 when equipped. Also, will drop a pattern, Frost Armor Kit. Teaches you how to make a Frost Armor Kit for leatherwork. So, that's pretty good. Those are actually really good. I use those. And that's about it for that, boss.
Oh, I forgot about Primal. Fire, Earth, Water. Yeah, I forgot about all those. People be farming all that. And the reason I said that is because I noticed that the Frost Armor Kit uses 4 Primal Fires.
Yeah. I'll collect all of them because leatherworking uses all of them at one point or another.
Yep. Alright, so after that, you'll go to the second boss in Steamvault. Is Meg Mcgineer. Yeah, I said it. Mcgineer Steamrigger. He's a large bipedal robot controlled by leopard gnomes. Now, he's got several abilities. Shriek Ray, which reduces damage done by 35% with chance to backfire. Saw Blade. He will randomly toss out a saw blade, hitting for around 1,500 to 2,500 to everyone within range. Electrified Net, immobilize target for 10 seconds and 600 to 700 damage. No repairs. A few times during the fight at 75%, 50%, and 25% health, he will call upon 3 to 4 gnomes to heal him. These gnomes have 5k hit points and deal 2 to 500 melee damage on hit. These are non-elite mobs and should receive all focus from DPS to prevent boss from healing. The healing is a channeled spell which breaks on damage, and after it has been broken, the gnome will start it again after a few seconds, so keep the DPS up. Melee, 800 to 1300 damage at 55% reduction, 13k armor, 1500 to 2000 damage to cloth. Enrage, he enrages after 5 minutes. Oh, that's heroic mode only.
Yep.
So, every 25% health, he shouts, "Tune 'em up, good boys!" 3 to 5 of those gnomes appear that are not elite, so just down those. So it should be your first priority because it will heal the boss. So you want to concentrate on those when they appear. PvP trinket and gnome tank can be helpful here. If you want to grab the aggro back after you had a net on the druid, you can also shift form to break the net. So druids, shift forms, net's gone. Any damage whatsoever to the mechanics forces them to attack you and not heal the boss. So if your tank has an attack to hit multiple mobs at once, you can disrupt them and bring them to your tank giving your DPS time to pick them off one by one without them healing the boss. Only one of the Steamrigger's attacks causes magical damage, the electrical net, and the amount is negligible compared to the rest of the damage, so a mage may want to pull Amplify Magic on the party before the fight. Now, poison notes. Deadly poison works on him, as does Envenom. Wound poison also works on him. So
that's good to know because those poisons are pretty good.
Yeah. So there you go. That's.
I'm bringing the pain.
Now, it looks like all the gears level 68 to wear. He drops Earth Mantle hand wraps, metal hands. Gives 21 stam, 18 intellect. It's got a red and yellow socket. The socket bonus is 3 to intellect. If you equip it, improves your critical strike rating by 16. It also increases spell power by 19. Mask of Penance. It's a plate headpiece.
Stupid paladin helmet.
Yep, 922 armor. It gives 30 intellect, 27 stamina. Increases spell power by 35. And it also restores 10 mana every 5 seconds.
I only say that because I've seen this helmet drop 135,000 times and nothing else.
It's a purple mask hoodie looking thing. And let's see. I don't think I ever got it, but I might have and just tried to forget it. I probably blocked it out of. Oh, well, that's probably why. Yeah, that's why I didn't have it. Okay. Duh! Okay, I had a stupid moment. All right, now. There's a gun that drops. A recoilless Rocket Ripper X54. 64.7 damage per second. It also gives you 13 stamina. If you equip it, it improves critical strike rating by 16.
I will tell you that all of the guns that came out in BC just look absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, this one looks like a little handgun.
Yeah, they look absolutely ridiculous.
It does.
Get every one of them that you can, because you just look like you're walking. They remind me, anybody who's listening, because I know we're going off on a tangent here for just a second, but anybody who's listening, the guns and stuff remind me of the guns from, there's a game on PlayStation that has guns and stuff like this. It looks like they're just a bunch of pieces of different things that are put together.
It kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy.
In a way, yeah. I mean, I just wanted to put that out there. All the guns and stuff are absolutely ridiculously big, so don't worry about it if you can't get that one. You'll find another one.
Alright, if you're an engineer, it drops a somatic Rocket Boots Extreme. So this will teach you how to make rocket boots extreme.
Yeah.
It only gives 1 charge. So.
Well, it only gives 1 charge at the.
Oh, never mind. Let's see. Serpent Crest Life Staff. That's a good staff for.
I had that.
Yeah, for Druid
I had
Healer.
that as, I had that as a boom.
Okay. So of course, stats are 2-handed. 59.9 damage per second, but you're probably not going to be swinging it too much. You're probably just going to be using spells and stuff. It's got 27 stamina, 27 intellect, and 46 spirit. That is pretty good.
Yeah.
And if you equip it, it increases spell power by 121. It also drops the neck piece, Steam Hinged Chain of Valor. 26 stamina. If you equip it, it increases the block value of your shield by 29. And it also increases shield rock blending. Increases your shield block rating by 19. Words are hard.
Yes, they are. All the items off of that boss I really like. There's really good items for everybody off of that.
Because there's tank, good hunter gun or warrior, I guess, and shaman, druid, healer, whatever. Yeah, piece for everybody can drop.
Yep. Now everybody will have fun killing that boss, because once you kill him, you get to go to the final boss, because you have to kill both the bosses before you can get to the final boss. Warlord Calathresh. He is a Naga, and he is a good example of a male authority in the Naga civilization. He has abilities, spell reflection, don't need to explain it. Warlord's Rage, stacking 75% damage buff and 70% attack buff if he is allowed to complete the channeling of a Naga Distiller. We'll explain those. And then Impale, randomly targeted damage over time, dealing 500 physical damage per tick. Give you some quick rolls, tips for each roll. Tank the Warlord. The tank should always tank the Warlord in the middle of the room, right on top of the eye. When the Warlord turns to go to a container, following him there in the DPS the container with your group. And like I said, we'll talk about the container. An enrage from one container does not mean a wipe. On heroic, it does. The Warlord doesn't hit very hard unless he enrages. Healer. Tank is the main person you'll need to heal. Watch for impales and other party members. Cloths may need a hot to keep them up. Heal over time. When the white spell reflect bubble comes up, be ready to heal damage casters in the group that might nuke themselves. If you can, help damage the container. When the Warlord activates it, there may be a difference between an enrage and an easy fight. An enrage from one container does not mean a wipe. It does if you're on heroic. Melee. Your main target will be the Warlord. When the Warlord activates a container, you absolutely must switch to the container instead. If you're in my group and you're a melee and you don't switch to the container, I'll kick you out of the group. Save all your cooldowns and high damage abilities for the containers. Be prepared to move around with the tank and the Warlord. Range. Your main target will be the Warlord. When the Warlord activates the container, you must switch to the container instead. I mean, you can use macros, and you can push /target exact space Naga space Distiller. It's a really easy. It'll help you quickly target the container that needs to be destroyed. Save all your cooldowns and high damage abilities for the container. Caster should watch carefully for the white spell reflect bubble. Any spell leaving your hands after it pops up will hit you instead. So the strategy. As the last boss of the max level Cool Fang Wing, Calathresh is an appropriately difficult and time-consuming fight. He's a gear checker. Around 600 DPS per DPS class is a good number to have, assuming 3 DPS in the tank. This will end up with a combined group DPS output of around 2.2k, which will destroy the containers in a little under 5 seconds. He is fought in a room lined with containers called Naga Distillers, full of some unknown substance. Nobody knows. I tell everybody it's liquid crack, but we don't know for sure. The party must keep up steady DPS on him. He has a fairly large amount of hit points, and he periodically reflects magic spells. His only other ability is at random he'll target and impale someone, which does about 500 damage for 3 seconds. If he retargets someone before the impale wears off, it will stack and refresh the duration, so healers just pay attention. Ever so often he shouts and begins to channel a spell to the closest Naga Distiller near him. At this point, the container becomes targetable. The party must attack it. Like I said, it's very important to attack the container that he targets. So the tank will still be taking damage, but he channels on it, and you've got to take it out. However, if he is not enraged, his ability on any average gear tank will be negligible. So it is recommended that everyone in the party moves DPS to the Naga Distiller, including the healer. It is imperative that the container be destroyed before he finishes channeling, which is 10 seconds. If you can't kill it within 10 seconds, you might as well drop back, punt, and play defense, or re-roll classes because you don't know. If he manages to get the second spell off, he enrages, and it increases his attack speed by 75%, and is damaged by 70%. This ability will stack if more containers are not destroyed, if the other containers are not destroyed. Since they're only targetable when he channels, there's a certain urgency to this fight, as he will use this technique to the container closest to him. A good technique to killing the containers quickly is if the tank places the boss next to each container. That way you maximize the time you have for the whole group attacking the container. So tank just moves him next to the container that he wants him to target. Just make sure you have someone healing the tank. As long as party members manage to kill each container before Kellis powers up from it, he will remain under control and easily handled. The Naga Distillers have like 10,000 hit points each, so it's best to have all DPS and tanks switch to containers when it becomes available. If everyone is on it quickly, it only takes a few seconds to kill, so you shouldn't lose any aggro as a tank. Pull him next to the closest container, so you'll have your next target to kill when he goes to channel the containers, and then it's just rinse and repeat until he's dead. Dagger rogues, because DPS on the Distillers is probably the single most important aspect of this fight, and the time spent running around the tanks to try to get behind it can mean the difference between an enraged and a broken Distiller. Don't worry about going behind them. You should just rotate your camera so that you can see the top of the container. Star indicates the front of the tank, so standing on the opposite side will enable Dagger Rogues to backstab and maximize their damage. There you go. Mages cast Amplify Magic on the party beforehand, because all of his attacks are physical.
Yep.
Rogues and Feral Druids save your energy for a container when the timing for the container is near. If you notice that your party doesn't break the containers fast enough, you can use this. You can use a macro, the one I told you about, which will help you target the container. There are two common methods on how to tank the boss, which we've pretty much talked about those. You can take him. You can tank him near a container, or you can fight the boss in the center of the face on the floor, right around where the mouth is open. Doing this situates him to all the. It pretty much gives him the same distance between all the containers, and that works best when you have more range than melee. So, depending on how your group is built up or consist, if you have more melee, take him near the containers. If you have more range, take him in the middle of the room, because the range can see which container he's going to and take it out immediately. Facts about the containers: the channeling will not begin until the boss gets to the container, yet the container is targetable when the boss chooses it. So no matter if he's channeling it or not, as soon as he makes it targetable, switch over and kill it. Once you have 2 to 3 containers in the same area destroyed, tank him there and use the method of slowing his movement with Hunter Traps. So he doesn't get to the next container quickly and you can target it down. Let's see. When he goes to do the container, what does he say? I want to say it's this is not nearly over. Maybe.
This is when he regenerates.
Yeah, but isn't that also? Isn't that what he's doing when he? See,
I'm not sure.
He has a certain thing he says. I do believe, and but I can't. I may be wrong, but I thought he said something. But anyways, you'll see it target. It'll be targetable, and once it's targetable, you can kill it. The fight is long, so just be wary of that. After you kill him, you're going to be tired because it's a pretty long fight. But you get some cool stuff. Normal and heroic drops are the same. Everything that he drops is level 70 to use. And there's quite a bit of stuff that he can drop.
Yeah, a lot.
I don't think he drops on regular. He does not, and I know that for a fact, he does not drop the purple Battle Crest hood pattern for Taylor. That's heroic only.
Or if it does, it's really, really slim.
Yeah. Now he'll drops Beast Lord Leggings. They are male legs, 570 armor, 30 agility, 19 intellect, 25 stamina. If you be equipping them, Increases attack power by 52 and restores 7 mana per 5 seconds. Drops Beast Lord Mantle, male shoulder item, 586 armor, 25 agility, 26 stamina, yellow and red socket. Socketed correctly gives you 4 stamina. Equipping it increases your critical strike rating by 12 and your hit rating by 12. Breastplate of the Righteous. Plate chest piece, 1164 armor, 30 stamina, 28 intellect. Red, yellow, blue socket. If socketed correctly, you get 2 mana per 5. Equipping it increases defense rating by 20 and increases spell power by 23. That's the chest piece you had.
Okay.
Devil Shark Cape is a
Yep.
back piece, 78 armor, 22 stamina. Equipping it increases defense rating by 20, increases dodge rating by 18, increases the block value of your shield by 29. Fathom Heart Gauntlet. Male hands, 407 armor, 24 stamina, 25 intellect. Equip, restores 7 mana per 5, and increases spell damage by 29. Gauntlets of the Bold. Plate handpiece, 728 armor, 16 agility, 17 strength, 31 stamina. Red and the yellow socket. If socketed correctly, you get 3 parry rating. Equipping it increases defense by 14. Incanter's Pauldron. Shoulder cloth item, 117 armor, 24 stamina, 17 intellect with 16 spirit. 1 yellow and 1 red socket. If socketed correctly, 3 critical strike rating. If you equip it, it increases spell power by 20. Moonblade Shoulder. Leather shoulder piece, 219 armor, 13 strength, 12 agility, 18 stamina, 19 intellect, and 18 spirit. 2 red sockets. Socketed correctly gives you 3 intellect. Increases spell power by 15 if you equip it. Those are some really good caster shoulders for leather workers, or for leather use. Ring of the Silver Hand. It's 18 intellect, 18 stamina, increases defense rating by 19, stores 5 mana per 5. Sash of Serpentra is a cloth waist piece. 88 armor, 31 stam, 21 intellect. Improves hit rating by 17, increases spell power by 25. Tide Fury Gauntlet. They are a male hand, 407 armor, 22 intellect, or 22 stamina, 26 intellect. Equip, increases spell power by 29 and restores 7 mana per 5. Vermilion Robes of the Dominant. A cloth chest piece with 156 armor, 37 stamina, 33 intellect. Equipping improves hit rating by 12 and increases spell power by 42. He also, on Heroic, drops Primal Nether. I don't know if you remember those, but you have to have those do a whole bunch of...
Especially on the epic profession.
Yeah.
I think you have to have them.
His Heroic drops are so nasty.
Yeah. There's only one weapon that drops this on the Heroic, it looks like, so.
Yeah. But this, overall, this boss is going to be the hardest boss you're going to face out of these first, 6 dungeons we talked about?
Yeah.
That's going to be the hardest boss you're going to face. Because, of course, this is the level 70 dungeon. But he just, because it's his mechanic. As long as you can down the little distills or whatever they are, you'll have no problem. But like he said at the beginning, this is a challenging instance. So you just be careful. Work your way through it. You don't pass it the first time, go back and hit it again.
Exactly, and try to have fun with these dungeons. Don't go in there thinking it's a job because you won't have any fun. And I always try to make them fun. And
most of the time, like for people who are going to be going into these, if you're in Nax and stuff like that, your gear is going to you're not going to replace Nax gear within the first 3 or 4 days. It's going to take a little while before you replace Nax. If you're Nax geared, these dungeons are a problem.
Yeah.
You'll be over geared.
And
but
once you run all these dungeons, you're going to want to run them on heroic, and especially if you're not in a guild that runs any raids, because you're going to want to run these heroics to get gear to get in the places like Karazhan and stuff like that, because you got to have good gear in order to do these raids, or nobody's going to want to take you, and your guild will not want to take you either.
Oh yeah, and odd dungeons are the funnest thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you get gear from doing instance or doing quests and stuff, but
That's like
they do have a dungeon set gear. They have a dungeon set that you can get once BC starts, and that dungeon set is actually some decent pre-raid items. So,
all right. Just so everybody knows, stay tuned. Next week, we're going to have a special podcast telling you what you need to do, or what you can do, to get ready for Burning Crusade. And now's the perfect time to actually start thinking about the stuff you should do to actually start getting ready.
yeah. So we'll take 1 week off from doing dungeons, and we may throw a dungeon in there, but it'll probably more than likely just be.
Just all depends on how long it's going to be. If it ends up being short, we'll throw a dungeon in there.
It depends on if my guide is ready or not. If my guide's ready, then it'll be a decently long, and it'll tell you everything.
All right, so stay tuned for next week's special podcast made just for y'all. And heck, I want to be honest, it's made for us too. So
yep.
So all right, well, stay tuned, and until then, have fun playing game.
As always.
This show is brought to you by Heartland Production Entertainment. If you'd like to help to make the show better, go to patreon.com/heartlandpae.